The emergency lights painted the Grand Council chamber in harsh red as delegates from 43 species rushed to their seats. Something had triggered the ancient warning systems. Something big enough to warrant a full assembly. The overseer, a towering Kryn warrior with silver scales, stood at the central podium and activated the holographic display. 3 hours ago, our deep space sensors detected this, the overseer announced. The hologram showed a massive energy signature erupting from a small yellow star on the outer edge of Galaxy7. The readings made no sense. Several council members gasped. A few began arguing immediately. Impossible, declared High Scientist Vorn, his 4 eyes blinking in rapid succession. No civilization can generate that much power. The readings must be wrong. Absent. Tense to tensive. We checked 17 times, the overseer replied. The signatures are real. They came from the Sol system. A ripple of confusion spread through the chamber. Sol system. Earth. The little blue planet whose inhabitants had barely learned to travel faster than light 200 years ago. The humans were considered friendly but unremarkable, a young species still learning the basics of galactic civilization. Perhaps their sun is dying, suggested Ambassador Threx, her tentacles coiling nervously. A solar event could explain the energy spike. That was our first theory, the overseer said. Until this happened, the hologram shifted. A new contact appeared at the edge of council space, moving at impossible speed. The vessel's quantum signature blazed like a newborn star. As they watched, it decelerated from faster-than-light travel to a complete stop in mere seconds, a maneuver that should have torn any ship apart. The vessel is requesting permission to dock, a technician reported. They identify themselves as a human diplomatic ship. Let them dock at the outer ring, the overseer ordered. But keep our defense fleet on alert. 2 hours later, the council chamber had transformed into chaos. Through the massive viewing window, delegates could see the human ship at the docking ring. The vessel defied every principle of ship design they knew. Its hull seemed to shimmer, as if it existed in multiple dimensions at once. Energy readings fluctuated wildly, showing power levels that should have melted the station's sensors. The chamber doors opened. A human woman walked in, accompanied by 2 others. She wore a simple dark suit, her black hair pulled back in a practical style. She looked remarkably calm for someone who had just arrived in a ship that was giving Galaxy7's best scientists headaches. Honorable members of the Galactic Council, she said, her voice clear and steady. I am Ambassador Sarah Chen, representing the United Earth Government. Thank you for agreeing to meet with us on such short notice. The overseer studied her carefully. Ambassador Chen, your ship has caused considerable alarm. Our scientists cannot understand the technology you are using. Some believe your vessel violates fundamental laws of physics. Chen smiled slightly. With respect, Overseer, those aren't laws. They're limitations your civilizations accepted as unchangeable. Humanity chose to question them instead. Arrogant words for such a young species, growled Commander Zeeks of the Vraxian Confederacy. You achieved faster-than-light travel less than 2 centuries ago. The Kryn have been exploring the stars for 5,000 years. Do you claim to surpass them? I make no claims, Commander, Chen replied. I simply state facts. Our ship, the Prometheus Unbound, traveled from Earth to this station in 4 days. How long would the journey take in your fastest vessel? Silence fell across the chamber. Everyone knew the answer. 6 weeks, minimum. The humans had crossed a distance in 4 days that should have taken over a month. High Scientist Vorn leaned forward. How is this possible? What discovery did you make? We stopped trying to move through space, Chen explained. We created technology that redefines our relationship with space-time itself. Instead of pushing against the universe's structure, we learned to temporarily step outside it. The quantum cascade drive, Vorn whispered. But that's purely theoretical. Every civilization in Galaxy 7 has examined the concept. The mathematics work, but the power requirements are impossible to achieve. We're impossible, Chen corrected gently. We found a way. The overseer's scales rippled with unease. Ambassador Chen, why are you here? Why reveal this capability now? Chen's expression became serious. Because humanity is ready to take its place as a full member of the galactic community. For 2 centuries, we've watched and learned. We've been patient, careful, respectful of established powers. But we will not remain in the shadows any longer. And if the Council refuses to recognize Earth's claim? Asked Ambassador Threx. We would be disappointed, Chen said. But we would not be deterred. The Prometheus Unbound is not alone. Earth has constructed a fleet. We call them Vanguard-class vessels. There are 50 of them, with more in production. Each one carries the same technology you see before you. The chamber erupted in shouts. 50 ships with impossible capabilities. 50 vessels that could cross the galaxy in days. The implications were staggering. The overseer raised one massive hand, calling for silence. You speak of power, Ambassador. Is this a threat? No, Overseer, Chen replied firmly. This is an introduction. Humanity did not develop this technology to conquer or dominate. We built it because we refuse to accept limits on what we can achieve. We're offering partnership, cooperation, and friendship. But we're doing so as equals, not as subordinates. She gestured toward the viewing window, where the Prometheus Unbound gleamed under the station's lights. That ship represents humanity's ingenuity, determination, and boundless curiosity. We didn't follow the established paths. We created our own. And now we're inviting Galaxy7 to see what else might be possible if we work together. The overseer looked at the human ship, then back at the small woman standing before the most powerful council in the galaxy. For the first time in his long life, he felt genuine uncertainty about the future. This council will need time to discuss your proposal, he said finally. Chen nodded. Of course. We'll wait aboard our ship. Take all the time you need. But understand this. Whether you accept us today or in 10 years, humanity is here to stay. The question isn't whether we'll claim our place among the stars. The question is whether we'll do so with your cooperation or without it. She turned and left, her footsteps echoing in the silent chamber. Through the window, the Prometheus Unbound waited. A gleaming promise of humanity's future, and a warning that Galaxy7 would never be the same again. Dr. Rebecca Torres stood in the observation dome of Research Station Threshold, staring at the swirling darkness of the Oort cloud beyond. 50 years ago, this place didn't exist. Now it housed the most ambitious project in human history. Behind her, the main laboratory hummed with activity as hundreds of scientists worked on problems that most alien civilizations had declared unsolvable. Coffee? Asked her colleague, Dr. James Park, offering her a steaming cup. She accepted it gratefully. I still can't believe we pulled it off. When we started this project, half the scientific community thought we were crazy. Park laughed. Only half? I remember at least 70% calling us delusional. Torres smiled at the memory. The beginning of Project Threshold had been rough. Earth had achieved faster than light travel, using the same basic technology every other species in Galaxy7 used. It worked, but it was slow. The Alcubierre-style drives that moved ships through compressed space-time bubbles had strict limitations. Speed caps, energy requirements, and distance restrictions meant human vessels could barely explore their local stellar neighborhood. Show me the timeline again, Torres said. I want to remember how we got here. Park pulled up a holographic display. It showed Earth's recent history in glowing data points. 250 years ago, we achieved FTL travel. We were so excited, we thought we'd unlocked the galaxy. But then we learned the truth. Every alien species we met used the same basic technology. They'd refined it, improved it, made it more efficient. But fundamentally, nothing had changed in thousands of years. Because they accepted the limitations, Torres said. Exactly, Park continued. The mathematics seemed clear. There were hard limits on how fast you could go, how much energy you could generate, how you could manipulate space-time. Every civilization in Galaxy7 had tested these limits and decided they couldn't be broken. So, they stopped trying. Torres moved closer to the display. But humans are stubborn and reckless, Park agreed cheerfully. When the Galactic Council told us these were fundamental laws of physics, our scientists didn't accept it. They asked a different question, not how to improve the existing technology, but whether there was a completely different approach. The hologram shifted, showing the early years of Project Threshold. A small team of physicists and engineers had proposed something radical. Instead of trying to move through space using conventional FTL drives, what if they could temporarily disconnect a ship from normal spacetime entirely? The quantum cascade theory, Torres said. I remember reading the first papers. They were brilliant and terrifying. Most breakthrough ideas are, Park replied. The theory suggested that spacetime isn't as solid as we think. At the quantum level, reality constantly fluctuates. The scientists theorize that with enough energy, precisely controlled, you could push a ship into a state where it temporarily exists outside normal spacetime. Then, when you let it collapse back into reality, you could choose where it reappears. 1. Like quantum tunneling, but for an entire spacecraft, Torres added. Park nodded. The problem was power. The energy requirements were enormous. Every simulation showed you'd need power equivalent to a star. No civilization had ever generated that much energy in a controlled way. That's why the quantum cascade drive existed only as mathematics. Beautiful, elegant mathematics that seemed completely impossible to build. Until we tried anyway, Torres said with quiet pride. The hologram showed the construction of Threshold Station, deep in Earth's Oort cloud. Far from the sun, far from inhabited worlds. A place where catastrophic failure wouldn't endanger billions of lives. The station had been built in secret, with only the highest levels of Earth's government aware of its true purpose. We spent 30 years just on the power problem, Park continued. Fusion reactors weren't enough. Matter-antimatter annihilation wasn't enough. We needed something more fundamental. That's when Dr. Yuki Sato had her breakthrough. Torres looked at the memorial plaque on the wall, bearing Sato's name. The physicist had died 5 years ago, but her legacy had changed everything. Zero-point energy extraction. She figured out how to tap the quantum foam of spacetime itself. Controlled vacuum energy harvesting, Park said. It sounds simple now, but it took 20 years to develop, and another 10 years to make it safe. We were literally pulling energy from the fabric of reality. One mistake, and we could have torn a hole in spacetime. But we didn't, Torres said. We tested, failed, learned, and tried again. That's the human approach. We don't give up. The hologram showed the first successful test of a quantum cascade drive. A small probe, barely larger than a person, had been loaded into the experimental chamber. The power systems had engaged, and for 3 seconds, the probe had vanished from all sensors. Not cloaked or hidden, but genuinely absent from reality. Then it reappeared 50,000 kilometers away, exactly where the calculations predicted. I was here that day, Torres said softly. I cried. We all did. We'd done it. We'd broken through the limits. And then the real work began, Park added. Scaling up the technology. Making it stable enough for a crewed vessel. Developing the artificial intelligence systems needed to control drives that operated faster than biological minds could process. Building ships that could survive the transition in and out of normal spacetime. The hologram displayed the construction of the first Vanguard-class vessel, the Prometheus Unbound. The ship looked wrong by conventional standards. Its hull incorporated materials that didn't exist in nature, synthesized atom by atom. Its power core drew energy from dimensions humans could barely perceive. Its AI systems processed information at speeds that made quantum computers look primitive. 50 years from theory to deployment, Torres marveled. Most alien civilizations spend 50 years just approving a new ship design. We built a completely new form of faster-than-light travel. Because we had to, Park said seriously. Earth is on the outer edge of Galaxy7. Using conventional FTL, we're isolated, far from the center of galactic civilization. We were always going to be minor players, stuck on the periphery, unless we changed the game entirely. Torres looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Ambassador Chen was presenting humanity's achievement to the Galactic Council. The reaction would be shock, fear, maybe anger. The established powers wouldn't like having their comfortable order disrupted. Do you think they'll accept us? She asked. Park shrugged. Does it matter? We didn't build the Prometheus Unbound to ask permission. We built it to show Galaxy7 what humanity can do when we refuse to accept impossible. A technician approached them. Doctors, we're receiving a transmission from Council Space. Ambassador Chen has successfully demonstrated the Prometheus Unbound's capabilities. The Council has requested a technical briefing. Torres and Park exchanged glances. A technical briefing meant the Council wanted to understand human technology. They wanted to know how humanity had achieved the impossible. Prepare the presentation, Torres ordered. But only the basics. They can know what we did, but not how to replicate it. Not yet. Not until we're certain they'll use the knowledge responsibly. As the technician left, Park smiled. We're going to change everything, Rebecca. Every civilization in Galaxy7 has spent millennia perfecting existing technology. They've forgotten how to truly innovate. But humanity remembers. We're going to remind them that progress isn't about accepting limits. It's about breaking them. Torres raised her coffee cup in a toast. To Project Threshold. To the Prometheus Unbound. To humanity's future among the stars. Through the observation dome, stars sparkled in the darkness. Each one represented possibilities, worlds to explore, species to meet, mysteries to solve. And now, with the quantum cascade drive, all of it was within reach. Galaxy7 had shaken when the Prometheus Unbound revealed itself. But this was only the beginning. The secret chamber existed in a location known to only 7 individuals in the entire galaxy. Deep beneath the surface of Kryn Prime, the military high command of Galaxy7's most powerful empire gathered around a circular table. No recording devices were active. No AI systems monitored their conversation. This meeting would have no official record. Supreme Commander Thrask, leader of the Kryn military for the past 60 years, activated a holographic display. Images of the human ship, Prometheus Unbound, rotated slowly in the air. Sensor data scrolled past in streams of incomprehensible numbers. This is what we face, Thrask said, his voice heavy with something the others rarely heard from him. Fear. A species we dismissed as primitive has created technology that makes our greatest warships look like ancient toys. Fleet Admiral Kess leaned forward, her scales shifting to a darker shade of purple, a sign of deep concern among her people. I've reviewed the tactical data 17 times. Commander, the implications are devastating. The human vessel crossed from their system to Council space in 4 days. Our fastest interceptors need 6 weeks to cover the same distance. Speed is only part of the problem, added Intelligence Director Vorn. Look at the power readings. The Prometheus Unbound generates more energy than our entire 7th Fleet combined. And that's just their diplomatic ship. Ambassador Chen claimed they have 50 more like it. 50 ships that can appear anywhere in the galaxy within days, muttered Generals Rex. Our entire defensive strategy depends on having time to detect threats and respond. These human vessels eliminate that advantage completely. Thrask gestured, and the hologram shifted, showing detailed scans of the Prometheus Unbound's hull. Our scientists have been analyzing this data constantly since the humans arrived. Do you know what they found? The ship's outer hull exists in a state of quantum superposition. It's simultaneously solid matter and something else, something our sensors can't properly classify. When human vessels activate their quantum cascade drive, they don't move through space. They temporarily cease to exist in our dimension entirely. A long silence followed that statement. The military leaders of Galaxy7 understood the implications immediately. You couldn't blockade a ship that could vanish from reality. You couldn't build defenses against vessels that didn't follow normal laws of physics. How did they achieve this? Demanded Admiral Kess. The Kryn Empire has been perfecting faster-than-light travel for 5,000 years. Our scientists are the finest in Galaxy7. How did a species that only achieved spaceflight a few centuries ago surpass us so completely? Because they didn't try to surpass us. Vorn replied quietly. They abandoned our entire approach. While we spent millennia refining Alcubierre drives, making them more efficient and reliable, humanity asked a different question. They asked if there was a completely different way to travel faster than light. The quantum cascade theory, Thrask said. Our scientists examined it generations ago. The mathematics were sound, but the power requirements were impossible. Building a drive that could temporarily push matter outside of spacetime would require energy output equivalent to a small star. No civilization has that kind of power generation. Humanity does now, Vorn countered. According to the technical briefing Ambassador Chen provided, they developed something called zero-point energy extraction. They're pulling power directly from the quantum foam of spacetime itself. General Zrex slammed a clawed hand on the table. And they shared this information freely? They told the Council how their technology works? They shared just enough to prove it's real, Vorn explained. But not enough for anyone to replicate it. The humans are clever. They revealed sufficient technical details to show their achievement isn't a hoax or alien technology they discovered. But the specific engineering solutions, the mathematical models, the materials science required, all of that remains classified. Strategic intelligence at its finest, Thrask admitted grudgingly. They demonstrated overwhelming technological superiority while ensuring no one can immediately copy their work. It will take decades, maybe centuries, for other civilizations to develop their own versions of this technology. If it's even possible, added Admiral Kess. The humans achieved this breakthrough by approaching the problem from a completely different direction. That kind of innovative leap isn't something you can replicate just by knowing it's possible. The hologram shifted again, showing combat simulations. Thrask had ordered his best tactical officers to model potential conflicts with human vessels. The results were not encouraging. We ran 500 battle scenarios, Thrask said. Human ships versus Kryn war fleets. The outcomes were consistent. In every scenario where human vessels used their full capabilities, our losses were catastrophic. Surely our numbers would make a difference, General Zrex protested. The Kryn fleet consists of over 10,000 warships. The humans claim only 50 of these advanced vessels. Watch, Thrask commanded. The hologram displayed a simulation. A Kryn battle fleet of 200 ships engaged a single human vessel. The human ship vanished, reappearing inside the Kryn formation. Its weapons fired, but they weren't conventional energy beams or kinetic projectiles. The simulation showed spatial distortions spreading through the Kryn fleet, tearing ships apart at the atomic level. Then the human vessel vanished again, reappearing outside the formation. The entire engagement lasted 40 seconds. 90% of the Kryn ships were destroyed or disabled. The human vessel suffered no damage. This is our worst-case analysis, Thrask said. But even our best-case scenarios show unacceptable losses. Human ships are faster, more powerful, and equipped with weapons our shields cannot stop. Because their weapons aren't based on energy or matter, Vorn explained. They weaponize space-time itself. They create localized gravitational anomalies that rip ships apart. Our defensive systems were never designed to counter that kind of attack. Admiral Kess spoke carefully. Are you suggesting the Kryn Empire cannot defeat humanity in open warfare? I'm suggesting that any attempt to do so would be suicide, Thrask replied bluntly. And there's something else. Something worse. He changed the hologram to show technical readouts. The Prometheus Unbound is controlled by an artificial intelligence, not a simple computer system, but a genuine machine consciousness that thinks and reacts faster than any biological mind. The ship's AI can process tactical information and execute responses in microseconds. By the time our crews recognize a threat and issue orders, human vessels have already completed their attack runs. Our crews can't compete, General Rex said slowly. Even if our ships were equal in capability, the humans' AI systems give them an insurmountable advantage. Exactly, Thrask confirmed. Humanity has built warships that don't need biological crews to function. They've eliminated the slowest component of any military system: organic response time. Vorn added more information. According to our intelligence, all 50 of humanity's Vanguard-class vessels are AI-controlled. The humans have created a fleet that can coordinate actions across the entire galaxy simultaneously. Each ship is connected to the others through quantum entanglement communication. When one human vessel learns something, all 50 know it instantly. The implications settled over the gathering like a heavy blanket. Galaxy7's military leaders had always assumed their experience and numbers would protect them. The Kryn had fought wars for thousands of years. They understood tactics, strategy, logistics. But humanity had changed the nature of warfare itself. What do you recommend, Commander? Admiral Kess asked. Thrask was quiet for a long moment. We accept reality. Humanity has achieved something remarkable. Something that may take the rest of Galaxy7 centuries to match. Any attempt to oppose them through force would be disastrous. We must engage with them diplomatically, carefully, and respectfully. The mighty Kryn, bowing to a species that only left their homeworld 200 years ago, General Rex muttered bitterly. Not bowing, Thrask corrected. Adapting. That's how civilizations survive. The humans didn't develop this technology to conquer Galaxy7. If they wanted dominance, they would have struck already. Instead, they've offered partnership. They want to be recognized as equals. Can we afford to give them that recognition? Vorn asked. Can we afford not to? Thrask countered. 50 Vanguard-class ships exist now. The humans are building more. In 10 years, they might have 100. In 50 years, 1,000. If we make enemies of humanity now, while we still have some measure of military parity, we ensure our own eventual defeat. He deactivated the hologram. I will recommend to the High Council that we formally recognize Earth's sovereignty and accept them as a major power in Galaxy7. We will offer technology exchange, trade agreements, and mutual defense pacts. We will treat them as valuable allies, not because we want to, but because we must. The other military leaders nodded slowly. Pride was bitter to swallow, but survival demanded it. Galaxy7 is changing, Thrask said quietly. The comfortable order we've known for millennia is ending. Humanity has shown us that the limits we accepted were only limits of imagination. They've proven that species far younger than ours can still teach us vital lessons. What lesson is that? Asked Admiral Kess. Thrask smiled without humor. That the most dangerous civilizations aren't the oldest or strongest. They're the ones that refuse to believe anything is impossible. Captain Elena Rodriguez had been hauling cargo through the Tarn Nebula for 8 years. Her ship, The merchant vessel's steady profit wasn't impressive by any standard. It was old, slow, and required constant maintenance. But it was hers, and it made honest money carrying goods between the outer colonies and the inner systems of Galaxy7. Today's cargo was simple: medical supplies for a colony on the far side of the nebula, industrial components on the return trip. Easy work, routine, boring. Exactly the way Rodriguez preferred it. "Captain, I'm picking up multiple contacts on long-range sensors," her pilot, Marcus Webb, called from the cockpit. "6 ships, moving fast. They're on an intercept course." Rodriguez frowned. "IFF signals?" "Vraxian Confederacy," Webb replied. "Military vessels." Something cold settled in Rodriguez's stomach. The Vraxian Confederacy had been making noise lately about human expansion into their territory. Political tensions were high, but there hadn't been any actual violence. Yet, "Hail them," Rodriguez ordered. "Let them know we're a civilian vessel carrying humanitarian cargo." Webb worked his console. "No response, Captain. They're still closing. And they've activated weapons systems." Rodriguez hit the ship-wide communication button. "All crew. Battle stations. This is not a drill." The steady profit wasn't a warship, but every merchant captain in Galaxy7 knew to install defensive systems. Rodriguez had shields, point defense lasers, and a handful of missiles. Against 6 military vessels, those defenses were nearly worthless, but regulations required she try. The Vraxian ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel in a perfect attack formation. They were sleek, predatory vessels bristling with weapons. The lead ship opened a communication channel, and the face of a Vraxian commander appeared on Rodriguez's screen. His face was angular, with dark scales and cold yellow eyes. "Human vessel, you are trespassing in Vraxian territory," the commander announced. "Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded." "Commander, this is Captain Rodriguez of the Earth merchant ship Steady Prophet," she replied, keeping her voice steady. "We're in neutral space, following established trade routes. We're carrying medical supplies for colony outposts. There's no reason for hostility." "There is every reason," the Vraxian commander replied. "Your species has disrupted the natural order of Galaxy7. You've claimed power you haven't earned. Today, the Vraxian Confederacy teaches you a lesson in humility. Surrender, or be destroyed." Rodriguez felt her heart hammering. This wasn't about territory or trade routes. This was about making a statement. And her ship had been chosen as the target. "Webb, send a distress signal," she ordered quietly. "All channels, maximum power." "Captain, even if Earth defense receives it, they're weeks away." "Send it anyway." The Vraxian ships opened fire. The Steady Prophet's shields flared under the assault. Rodriguez's crew fought back desperately. But it was hopeless. Their point defense systems shot down a few missiles, but more got through. Explosions rocked the ship. Alarms shrieked warnings. "Shields at 40%, Webb shouted. "Hull breaches on decks 3 and 5. We can't take much more of this." Rodriguez gripped her command chair. She'd served in Earth's merchant fleet for 15 years. She'd survived pirates, navigational hazards, and mechanical failures. But this felt different. This felt like the end. Then Webb gasped. "Captain! New contact! It just appeared 200 kilometers off our starboard side. Quantum signature is off the charts. Captain! It's one of ours. It's a Vanguard-class vessel." On the view screen, space seemed to tear itself apart. A human warship materialized from nothing, its hull gleaming with strange energies. The ship was beautiful and terrifying, a sleek predator that made the Vraxian vessels look clumsy and outdated. "This is the United Earth warship Indomitable Resolve," a calm voice said over all communication channels. "Vraxian vessels, you have attacked a civilian ship in neutral space. You have 30 seconds to withdraw, or you will be engaged." The Vraxian commander appeared on screen again, but he was no longer addressing Rodriguez. He was staring at the human warship with visible shock. "You can't be here. Our sensors showed nothing. You appeared from nowhere." 20 seconds, the indomitable resolve replied. "This is our space," the Vraxian commander shouted. "You have no authority here. We are a sovereign power. We do not fear you, or your impossible ships." 10 seconds. Rodriguez watched as the Vraxian ships repositioned, forming up to face the human warship. They still outnumbered the indomitable resolve 6-1. The Vraxians clearly believed numbers would make the difference. They were wrong. The battle lasted 93 seconds. Rodriguez would remember every moment of it for the rest of her life. The Vraxian fleet opened fire first, unleashing everything they had. Energy beams, missiles, kinetic projectiles, all directed at the single human vessel. The indomitable resolve simply absorbed it all. Its shields weren't just deflecting attacks, they were adapting in real time, learning from each impact and becoming stronger. Then the human ship returned fire. But it wasn't firing conventional weapons. Space itself seemed to twist around the Vraxian vessels. Localized gravity wells appeared and disappeared in microseconds, pulling ships apart at the molecular level. One Vraxian vessel simply came apart, its hull disintegrating like it was made of sand. Another tried to escape into faster-than-light travel, but the indomitable resolve created a spatial distortion that prevented the jump. The ship exploded as its FTL drive overloaded. The remaining 4 Vraxian ships scattered, trying to use evasive maneuvers. It didn't matter. The human warship moved with impossible precision, appearing and disappearing as it engaged each target. Its artificial intelligence processed tactical data faster than any biological crew could follow. It predicted where the Vraxian ships would move before their pilots made the decisions. A third Vraxian vessel was caught by a weaponized gravity wave that crushed it like an empty can. The fourth tried to fight back, but its weapons simply couldn't penetrate the adaptive shields. The indomitable resolve disabled it with surgical precision, destroying its weapons and engines, while leaving the crew section intact. The last 2 vessels attempted to flee. The human warship let them run for exactly 5 seconds. Then it broadcast something on all frequencies. Rodriguez's communication officer pulled up the data stream. "Captain, the indomitable resolve just transmitted the complete technical specifications of Vraxian weapons, shields, and tactical doctrine," he reported in amazement. "It analyzed everything during the battle, and it's sharing the information openly. Every ship in this sector now knows exactly how to defeat Vraxian military vessels." On the view screen, the 2 fleeing Vraxian ships stopped. Their commander reappeared, but the arrogance was gone. His face showed pure terror. "Please," he begged. "We surrender." "Surrender accepted," the indomitable resolve replied. "Return to Vraxian space. Inform your government that attacks on human civilians will not be tolerated. Any future aggression will be met with overwhelming force. This is your only warning." The Vraxian ships jumped to faster-than-light travel and vanished. The disabled vessel was left behind, its crew broadcasting emergency signals. "Steady Prophet, this is indomitable resolve," the human warship's AI said. "Captain Rodriguez, damage report please." Rodriguez realized she'd been holding her breath. "Shield generators are damaged, hull breaches on 2 decks, but we're stable. No casualties." "How did you get here so fast?" "We only just sent the distress signal. We received your transmission 11 minutes ago," the AI explained. "Earth Defense deployed us immediately. Travel time from our patrol route to your location was 7 minutes. We spent 4 minutes analyzing the tactical situation before engagement. 7 minutes." The Vraxian commander had been right to be shocked. The human warship had crossed a distance that would have taken conventional vessels hours or even days. It had appeared from nowhere, assessed the situation, and executed a perfect tactical response in less time than most species needed to finish a meal. "Thank you," Rodriguez said simply. "You saved our lives." "Protecting Earth civilians is our primary mission, Captain," the AI replied. Repair drones are being dispatched to assist with your hull damage. We'll escort you to your destination and ensure there are no further threats. As the indomitable resolve moved into position alongside the steady Prophet, Rodriguez looked at her crew. They were all staring at the view screen, at the impossible ship that had just defeated 6 military vessels without taking a single hit. "Captain," Webb said quietly, "Galaxy7 is going to lose their minds when they hear about this." Rodriguez nodded slowly. The Vraxian Confederacy had attacked a human ship to prove humanity wasn't special, that their technology could be challenged. Instead, they'd proven the opposite. They'd shown Galaxy7 exactly what human vessels could do when pushed to combat. The battle hadn't lasted even 2 minutes, but its effects would echo across the galaxy for generations. Earth had just demonstrated that attacking human ships, even civilian ones, would bring swift and devastating retaliation, not through cruelty or excessive force, but through such overwhelming technological superiority that resistance was pointless. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived as a major power in Galaxy7, and they would protect their own with technology that seemed like magic to everyone else. The Vraxian Confederacy had wanted to teach humans a lesson. Instead, they'd learned one themselves. Never mistake mercy for weakness. And never, ever, underestimate what humans can build when they're protecting something they love. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood before the Galactic Council for the second time in 3 months. The chamber looked different now. Where before there had been skepticism and dismissal, now there was respect tinged with wariness. The incident at Tarn Nebula had changed everything. "The Council recognizes Ambassador Chen of Earth," the Overseer announced formally. "The floor is yours." Chen activated her holographic display. It showed a map of Galaxy7, with human ships indicated by blue markers. Those markers were everywhere now, scattered across the galaxy in patterns that would have been impossible just months ago. "Honorable members," Chen began, "I come before you today to formalize what has already become reality. Humanity has taken its place as a sovereign power in Galaxy7. Our ships patrol trade routes, respond to distress signals, and maintain peace in regions that were previously lawless. We've done this not through conquest or intimidation, but through capability and choice." High Counselor Vess of the Kryn spoke carefully. "Ambassador, your vessels now appear regularly in every sector of the galaxy. Your technology allows you to move with unprecedented freedom. Many council members are concerned about your intentions." "I understand those concerns," Chen replied, "which is why I'm here to address them directly. Earth's position is simple. We seek cooperation, not domination. We want to explore, trade, and build relationships with all species in Galaxy7. But we will do so as equals, not as subordinates." "Equals," growled Representative Zrex from the Vraxian delegation. His voice was bitter. "Your ships destroyed 6 of our best vessels in under 2 minutes. You broadcast our military secrets to the entire galaxy. That's not equality, Ambassador. That's superiority." Chen met his gaze steadily. "Your vessels attacked an unarmed civilian ship carrying medical supplies, Representative. They opened fire on people who had committed no crime, violated no law. What did you expect would happen?" "We expected a fight," Zrex admitted. "We expected casualties on both sides. We didn't expect complete annihilation delivered by a single vessel with no crew. Our warships are crewed by artificial intelligences," Chen explained. "They make decisions faster than biological minds can process. They adapt to threats in real time. And yes, they're extremely effective in combat. That's intentional. We designed them that way, so we wouldn't have to risk human lives in every engagement." Ambassador Threx raised a tentacle. "But this is precisely what concerns many of us. Ambassador Chen, your vessels are too powerful. They upset the balance that has maintained peace in Galaxy7 for thousands of years. What's to stop Earth from using this power to enforce its will on other species. Chen smiled slightly. The same thing that stopped us from doing so already. Our values. Look at the data, Ambassador Threx. Earth ships have been operating across the galaxy for 3 months now. How many planets have we conquered? How many governments have we overthrown? How many species have we forced to submit to our authority? Silence answered her question. None, Chen continued. 0. Instead, we've defended merchant vessels from pirates. We've responded to distress signals in the Outer Rim, where Council authority is weak. We've offered technological assistance to colonies struggling with resource shortages. We've used our capabilities to help, not to hurt. The Overseer leaned forward. You've also shared some of your technology with select partners. The medical advances you've given to the Threxian species alone will save millions of lives. The agricultural improvements offered to developing worlds have ended famines. Why share such valuable knowledge? End quote. Because progress is better when it's shared, Chen replied simply. Earth didn't develop the quantum cascade drive to keep it secret forever. We advanced so rapidly because we refused to accept limitations, but we understand that not every species will make the same breakthroughs at the same time. Sharing appropriate technology helps everyone advance together. Appropriate technology, Counselor Vess repeated carefully. But not all technology. You haven't shared the specifications for your quantum cascade drives or your advanced weapons systems. No, we haven't, Chen agreed. And we won't. Not yet. Those technologies are too powerful and too dangerous in the wrong hands. But we're willing to share medical advances, agricultural improvements, environmental restoration techniques, and dozens of other innovations that improve quality of life without military applications. Representative Xerex spoke again, his tone less hostile now. You're bribing us. Offering gifts, so we'll accept your dominance. We're offering partnership, Chen corrected. Gifts aren't bribes when they come with no strings attached. We don't require loyalty or submission in exchange for the technology we share. We simply ask for what we've always asked. Recognition as a sovereign power and the freedom to operate in Galaxy7 without interference. The Overseer stood, his massive form commanding attention. The Council has debated Earth's status extensively since the Tarn Nebula incident. We've concluded that resistance is both futile and unnecessary. Humanity has proven itself through action. Therefore, I move that the Galactic Council formally recognizes Earth as a major power, with all rights and responsibilities that status entails. All in favor? One by one, the representatives voted. Some enthusiastically, some reluctantly, but the result was unanimous. Earth was now officially recognized as one of Galaxy7's major powers, joining the ranks of civilizations that had been exploring the stars for thousands of years. Chen bowed respectfully. Earth thanks the Council for this recognition. We pledge to use our capabilities responsibly and to contribute to the peace and prosperity of Galaxy7. There is one more matter, the Overseer said. Reports indicate that Earth is constructing new vessels. Colony ships, massive beyond anything seen in modern times. Can you confirm these reports? Chen's smile widened. I can. The Council's intelligence is accurate. Earth is building 12 Genesis-class colony ships. Each one is 5 kilometers long and capable of carrying 50,000 colonists, along with everything needed to establish new settlements. The chamber erupted in surprised voices. 5 kilometers long. The scale was staggering. The largest known ships in Galaxy7 were Kryn battle carriers that measured barely a kilometer in length. Humanity was building vessels 5 times that size. Where do you intend to send these colony ships? Asked Counselor Vess. To the Galactic Rim, Chen replied. Beyond the explored regions of Galaxy7, there are thousands of star systems out there that no one has claimed, worlds that could support life if properly terraformed. Earth's population is growing, and we need room to expand. Rather than compete for already inhabited space, we're going to the frontier. The galactic rim is dangerous, warned Ambassador Threx. Unexplored space, unknown hazards, no support infrastructure, which is exactly why most species avoid it, Chen agreed. But humanity has a different perspective on danger. We see challenges as opportunities. The frontier represents freedom, the chance to build something new without being constrained by existing power structures. The Overseer considered this. And you'll be taking your Vanguard-class vessels with you, establishing a human presence far from the galactic center. Yes, Chen confirmed. But we'll maintain trade and diplomatic relationships with Council space. The Rim colonies won't be isolationist. We're expanding outward, not withdrawing from Galaxy7. She changed the holographic display. It now showed star charts of unexplored regions, highlighted with potential colony sites. Earth is offering something to the Council. Join us. Send your own colony ships alongside ours. We'll share the technological support needed to establish Rim settlements. Together, we can expand the boundaries of known space. You would share your colony ship technology? Counselor Vess asked skeptically. Not the quantum drives, but everything else. Chen clarified. Life support systems, terraforming equipment, agricultural technology, everything needed to survive on frontier worlds. We're offering to help other species expand beyond their traditional boundaries. It was a generous offer, and everyone in the chamber knew it. Humanity was proposing to lead a new age of exploration and colonization, bringing other species along rather than going alone. Why? Asked Representative Zrex bluntly. Why share this opportunity? You could claim the entire Rim for yourselves. Chen's expression became serious. Because Galaxy7 is better when we work together. Because humanity learned long ago that isolation breeds stagnation. We advanced so rapidly not despite our diversity but because of it. Different perspectives, different approaches, different ways of thinking. That's what drives innovation. She gestured to the star charts. Out there, beyond the Rim, are mysteries we can't even imagine yet. Discoveries waiting to be made. Challenges that will require the best efforts of many species working together. Earth could go alone, but we'd rather go with companions. The Overseer was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke, his voice carrying the weight of historical significance. Ambassador Chen, you have given the Galactic Council much to consider, not just about Earth's capabilities, but about our own assumptions. For millennia, we've maintained the status quo, perfecting what we know rather than seeking what we don't. Humanity has reminded us that the galaxy is larger than our comfortable territories and established trade routes. He looked around at the assembled delegates. Perhaps it's time Galaxy7 remembered how to dream big again. How to see impossible distances not as barriers, but as invitations. Chen nodded. That's all we've ever wanted. To show Galaxy7 what's possible when you refuse to accept limitations. The quantum cascade drive was just the beginning. The colony ships are the next step. And beyond that, who knows? Maybe we'll find ways to travel between galaxies. Maybe we'll unlock the secrets of dark matter, or learn to manipulate time itself. Maybe we'll discover we're not alone in the universe. That other galaxies have their own civilizations waiting to meet us. She paused, letting her words sink in. Or maybe we'll fail. Maybe we'll hit limits we truly can't break. But we'll never know unless we try. And that's humanity's gift to Galaxy7. Not our technology, not our ships, but our refusal to accept impossible. Our willingness to ask what if, and then spend decades, centuries if necessary, finding the answer. Ambassador Chen looked out at the council, at representatives of species that had been exploring the stars for thousands of years before humans even discovered fire. The question isn't what humanity will do next. The question is whether Galaxy7 will join us in finding out. Will you come with us to the rim? Will you help us push the boundaries of what's possible? Will you remember that the galaxy is vast and full of wonders, and that the greatest discoveries are always just beyond the edge of what we think we know? The chamber was silent as delegates considered her words. Then, slowly, one by one, they began to stand. First, the Kryn representative. Then the Thraxians. Then others. Until the entire council was on their feet. It wasn't just recognition of Earth's power. It was acknowledgement of something more profound. Humanity had arrived in Galaxy7 and shaken the established order, not through force, but through possibility. They'd shown ancient civilizations that there was still room to grow, still frontiers to explore, still questions to ask. Galaxy7 had shook in fear when humanity first revealed their impossible starships. But now, looking toward the rim and the unknown wonders beyond, the galaxy shook with something else entirely: excitement.